Hello, everybody. Tracy Mrs. JDog Flanagan here with you today. I'm the co-founder and senior vice president of JDog Brands. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Tactical Treasures powered by JDog. Our podcast gives veterans, male spouses, active military members, and military family members a voice in the veteran space to speak about their service, how they're affecting their communities post-service, and they share with me a tactical treasure from their past that has shaped their journey in their military career, business, or life. Today, I am really excited to have on our podcast Michael Woody. Michael is a Philadelphia native and served in the U.S. Army as an Airborne Ranger for more than 20 years, from 1989 to 2010. And during his service, Michael was deployed on multiple combat tours to Iraq, Panama, South Korea, Kuwait, and Bosnia. Post-service, Michael has been hard at work advancing his education. Michael holds a bachelor's from Temple University, a master's from Villanova University, and numerous professional certificates. Michael is also currently a doctoral student at Temple University Fox School of Business, DBA program with a specialty on high-performance teams and how they become destructive under pressure and stress. Now Michael serves as the Executive Policy Specialist at the PA Department of Military and Veteran Affairs, and he shares his passion for leadership by volunteering to help his fellow veterans, various youth organizations, and the community. Hi, Michael. Thank you so much for joining us today.
How are you?
Good, good. So, wow, 20 years as an Airborne Ranger. How exciting. So tell me, what prompted you to go into military service?
Well, wasn't my first choice. I was going to college. My dad was in the military.
Ah,
So, yeah, living in Fort Benning, Georgia, and going to high school right outside of Fort Benning, Georgia. All my friends' dads were military. My father's military. You're surrounded with training. So I didn't want to do that, but I was going to school and I wasn't doing too well. And it was an option that I had to exercise because I just didn't want my father or my mother telling me how to stay in their house, which was in the
right.
military, on
Yeah.
a military installation. So, yeah, it was weird. Yeah, because I joined the Army from Fort Benning, Georgia. And so I went to basic training in Fort Benning, Georgia. So I went to basic training about 5 miles from where I lived.
Wow. How convenient. Was there a specific aspect of your service that kind of had a significant impact on you?
Um, there were a lot of themes. I think I got started when I first joined. I was very naive. I was 19 years old, very naive, pretty closed community, living on base, and everything was diverse. And when I got into the Army, my first boss wasn't too nice to me, and I didn't think of the possibility that he just didn't like me. I just thought I wasn't good, and he just had me do things extra. So back then, you do something wrong, they made you do push-ups, flutter kicks, whatever.
Right.
So I was getting in great shape, actually.
Oh gosh.
And then what happened was we got in a situation where he kind of pushed me, and I fought back, and we got in a fight,
Oh no.
and he reported me saying I attacked him. Um, what's funny about that is that as a result of that, they moved me to another company where I thought I was just such a bad person down here.
Right.
I wound up working so hard to do everything good. It was never going to be good enough. But then when I went to another company, as soon as I got down there, it's like, who's this guy? This guy's the best guy in the platoon. Let's
Oh,
send him to pre-ranger school. I get back
wow.
from pre-ranger school, let's send him to ranger school. This guy just won the machine gun contest for the entire division. So it was like I had to recalibrate how I looked at things. It was like my first intimate brush with like discrimination or some kind of somebody trying to set you back.
Right.
But I learned how I overdid things to try to please him,
Mm.
and not knowing it was ever going to work out. Now when I moved on, I always did too much. I've always was in the back of my head. I thought that I wasn't going to be good enough or something like that. So
Right. So
yeah,
that experience kind of forced you to really push yourself and be better and even though it was a bad experience, but you know, sometimes we can take bad experiences and turn them into good. And you obviously did that and excelled at your next company. So, wow, good for you. Um, so, what was your experience? 20 years is a long time to be in the military. What was it
right.
like, kind of retiring and transitioning out? How was that experience for you?
I think that I thought, like any military person, I thought it was going to be easy. You know,
Oh,
I was charged and trusted with so many great positions. I had these great experiences. At that point, I didn't know they were that unique. Um, so when and I understand a lot of veterans when they're getting ready to get out, you think you can do anything. You know, the countries that trusted you to, for my in my case, to take platoons of guys into combat. You know, whether it was it we're jumping out of planes, or we're going through the water, or we're going through the mud. I would get these guys prepared, ready to go, and we do these incredible missions together. So I thought that would be valued on the way out. So when I
right.
got out, I'm show my I'm putting a resume together. All right, he was a scout leader, sniper, ranger instructor, and platoon sergeant over here. He deployed to this combat situation. That hardly transitioned to a job that
Yeah.
I was looking for, and so it was tough. I think one of the main things, like when you have 21 years in, what you have to learn to do is to shut up and listen. You have to listen because you're in a new environment.
Sure, sure, yeah. Um, yeah, so but now, you work for the state of Pennsylvania in the Department of
Yeah.
Military and Veteran Affairs, so that must feel kinda comfortable for you, kind of being, attached to military and the community. Can you tell me about the work that you're doing there?
Yep. So I'm an executive policy specialist. So I have a unique view on what bills are being produced, and and I get to evaluate them with the General Assembly, so the House of Representatives, the Senate, and so I get to meet these people that we often vote for or against
Right.
in Pennsylvania. So there's some characters, and they're
I'm
all
sure.
trying to do some things. And one thing about being a veteran is that both parties, uh, Democrats and Republicans, they want to help veterans. So we're kind of in a unique space that we
Right,
get to talk to both parties as a political organization, and two, veterans are on every aspect uh, of the country. So when you start talking about veteran homes, okay, we're talking about that. You're talking about agriculture, we're there. You talk about education, we're in that. Everywhere you look, there's a veteran somewhere.
right,
So
right. Wow.
yeah,
Very
in the vantage point, and I don't want to forget this point, but I get to see Pennsylvania. I'm a Pennsylvanian.
Right.
So I was a Philadelphian when I came out here. Understand I'm a Pennsylvanian. So that's
Uh-huh.
important.
I'm sure it's very different out there than, Philadelphia, huh?
No, very much. Like Philadelphia's a bad word out here. You know what I mean? But now that they're getting ready to go, to the Super Bowl, everybody wants to be an Eagles fan.
Ah, that's right, that's right. Sure, sure, everybody wants to wear the green. I love it.
That's right.
Hello, viewers and listeners. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to Tactical Treasures podcast. JDog not only wants to help veterans by putting them into business ownership, but we have our JDog Foundation, which saves lives one veteran at a time. And the way in which we do that is to partner with organizations for PTSD resources, for combating veteran suicide. One of our organizations that we partner with is Stop Soldier Suicide. They are veteran founded, veteran led, and veteran focused. 3 U.S. Army veterans co-founded Stop Soldier Suicide in 2010 amid the worst suicide crisis our military has ever seen. After losing friends and fellow service members to suicide, Army veterans Brian Kinsella, Nick Black, and Craig Gradelli were determined to create a solution for their fellow veterans who were struggling. For them, military suicide isn't just a problem, it's personal. It was clear that something had to be done proactively to get their brothers and sisters in arms the help they needed and reduce the number of service members and veterans lost to suicide. Through their experiences, they realized that the key to preventing suicide is to identify, understand, and address the underlying issues. Things like financial strain, post-traumatic stress, and other mental health issues, and difficulties navigating the transition from military to civilian before they escalate to a point of crisis. The problem is clear. The systems in place just aren't working. Getting help isn't as easy as it should be, and trying to navigate a complicated maze of organizations and resources can be overwhelming when you're in crisis. Stop Soldier Suicide was built to change that. Ladies and gentlemen, veterans, please don't wait until you're in crisis. Reach out for help. StopSoldierSuicide.org or call them at 844-907-1338. Thank you. So that's really great work that that you're doing. Very important. So I understand that you were selected to be a part of the In-State Fellowship Program. What's that all about?
Oh, right. So Penn State has a leadership program called RULE. So it's the Rural Urban Leadership Program. And so that's how I take a lot of my tours around Pennsylvania. It's part of the School of Agriculture at Penn
Okay.
State. I should say Penn State Extension. And so you have people from all parts of Pennsylvania. There are quite a few that work for the state. So I do get to talk to some of my counterparts in the Department of Agriculture, um, uh, other parts of the state organizations, and we get to meet up once a month and learn about different industries, a lot of the farming, and I get to see how much is going on outside of Philadelphia.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
very interesting. It's very interesting. I've been having fun. Our last institute, we went to Gettysburg, so we got to go on the Gettysburg battlefield. But
Right.
Gettysburg is in Adams County. Adams County, I learned, is a huge apple producer, and so we went to an apple farm, and we
Wow.
got a whole uh, information session about the apples in Adams County.
Yeah. I've been up to Gettysburg. Actually, it's a quaint little town because my daughter almost went to college there. Um,
Gettysburg College, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, it's amazing. It's very different from Philadelphia, certainly.
Well,
But
yeah, when you go out of Philadelphia, you see these little small towns,
yeah,
and they're beautiful. I mean,
yeah,
especially at night. And so our institutes are on the weekend, and you see Thursday, Friday, and we were there during Christmas. The lights are up. It
yeah,
looks like a little Hallmark movie
yeah,
out there in
yeah.
some of this
Uh-huh.
town. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It is really beautiful. Very quaint little town. Gettysburg area is. Yeah. Hello, viewers and listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in to this exciting episode of Tactical Treasures powered by JDog Brands. We're currently speaking with Michael Woody, who is a Philadelphia native and served in the U.S. Army as an Airborne Ranger for more than 20 years. He is currently working at the PA Department of Military and Veteran Affairs as an executive policy specialist. So, doing really great things in that department, working with the legislature to help veterans get all the resources that they need. And I would like to say that if you are a veteran located in the state of Pennsylvania, check out PA Vet Connect. And you can find that website by going to dmva.pa.gov/veterans, and you will find a link there to the PA Vet Connect. And you can find all information about employment, financial assistance, mental wellness, every resource that the veterans need. So check it out. Now back to the podcast. So that leads us to your treasure. I'm really excited to hear about what you're going to share with us today.
Treasure. Okay. I've been thinking about this, and there are so many things I got from the military. I think the military gave me an opportunity to compete. I didn't know I had this will to be competitive. Yeah, well, just like will in general. So being a military brat, everybody has to play basketball, football, baseball, and then the dads are in the bleachers in uniform talking about their kids.
Right.
And so, but when you get in the military, all of a sudden, and then I went into the infantry. So everything was a physical challenge.
Sure.
Now I didn't speak much when I went in. I didn't talk at all. I mean, I was a military brat, so I didn't talk that much, but I was very physical. And what my physical ability allowed me to do, it actually allowed me to get promoted, because in the infantry, if you could run fast, do a lot of push-ups and sit-ups back in the day, you know, they need you, and
Right.
then it's much easier to lead by example if first thing in the morning you're doing PT and you're out front and your unit can't catch you. So that gave me a lot of equity, I should say, or a lot of credibility. And I,
Right.
I would say that I've been able to transform that to go into military school. So I went to Ranger School. That's very physical, very competitive.
Mm.
And I would say it's pushed me. I still had that spirit. And I think about times in the military when, you know, applying to a doctoral program. There's
Sure.
like no way coming out of high school, I thought I was going to go to grad school or even graduate college. But being in the situations I was in the military, I would say my tactical treasure uh, enabled me and empowered me uh, to believe that I can do anything that I put my mind to.
Well, that's great. Yeah, I'm sure the military definitely builds not only physical strength but mental strength too. And wow, that's amazing. So, how exciting for
Definitely.
you, to be able to, use your military experience to kind of shape your journey and what you're doing. I imagine you have a dissertation that you have to do and everything in graduate school, correct?
Oh yeah, and I think that when you're talking about relating what you've done in the military, I use it a lot. I mean, I, one of the things in the military you have to have that a lot of people don't think about as a trait is you have to have courage. You
Yeah.
know, yeah. And so I kind of go in a room. I worked with a bunch of big personalities for decades while in the
Mm,
military,
yeah.
and so I think I've been told I have one, and so when I'm in a room with like now with a bunch of politicians, um, I don't get scared. When in my dissertation program, trying to form the committee, asking some of the professors I thought are great to be on my committee, I just kind of scared them into working with me. So,
Whatever works,
I
right?
mean, there are a bunch of people that were in the military before that allow me to hijack. Like, yeah, I'll do a little Rambo on you if you don't join my committee. So I'm just kidding. So,
Oh, wow. Well, I think all that the military, all of that training sticks with you, and I think carries you through, and I think just shapes you as you are in the civilian world. I really think it contributes to whatever you do. You know, so that's really awesome. What a special treasure. Um, so
I
what
would
I
say that. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, I would say that how for me to share that with you was that I think that when I got out, I didn't want to be around military. I wanted to get a job, and I thought I saw other military people was going to get me in a military mode, and it's definitely going to prevent. And so, and so I tried to act like I was never in the military, which was really hard to do.
That's
But
impossible. I'm just
it's
saying.
impossible. So here I go. I accept my Philadelphia veteran community, how I met you and how I met your husband
Yeah.
and all the people we know. And it's been one of the best networks that I can ever say that I've been part of. I mean, you didn't never know when people were going to pop up. Hey, look at you! Just I saw that you interviewed General Weigel.
I did. I did.
Yeah,
Maureen Weigel,
and do you know we worked together, right?
yeah, yeah. I
And we
imagine you cross paths. Yeah.
Yeah, and we knew each other. We met each other from networking in Philadelphia
Yeah. Wow.
prior to
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
so it's a
that's
very
neat.
strong network.
It's a small world, when you think about it. So,
Mhm.
you having all this knowledge and all this, I'm sure you have pieces of advice for your fellow veterans who may be struggling to transition out of the military and find their next steps, their next career path, or whatever it is. Do you have some takeaways that you might share?
Um, I think that as a veteran, you think you can do it all by yourself,
Mm.
and
Ah,
you
yeah,
are proud of that as well. And we tend to beat ourselves on the chest and how much we've done, and we don't. It's almost like we all kind of reach a point where you know what? I was in the community and I'm going to expand my community. Like I said, I tried to cut the military off; it wasn't good. But I just expanded my community, and it welcomes you. And I think that once, as a veteran, you start doing that for everybody. I mean, your neighbor might not have served, but it doesn't give you an opportunity to just like beat them up like with all the stuff you've done. They're patriotic in their own way. And
right.
so I think that it's as much as we want people to respect what we've done for the country, I think at the same respect, I had to sit back and understand and appreciate what other people have done and understand it's not about me. Yes, I can talk and give some badass stories and get people to I can get people motivated, but it's not the place for that. Listen, I am reminded daily of, hey, look at you're not in the military anymore. And neither do I want to be. It's just something I can't undo. But I think that once we understand and can tap into, can compartmentalize some of that, you know, it
Right.
might help people get jobs faster. It might help you stay in a conversation longer. It might help you gain friends and influence better. If you remember that you were American first, and then you became, I want to say, a service, provide a service for the country, and I'm sure you've seen it too. Like veterans think that they go around like everybody owes them something.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, and not too humble. I mean, there's a lot of humble ones, but there are
Yeah.
also ones that they're angry that everybody else wasn't on the battlefield, and they're not taking the time to take a breath, and just like, you know what, I appreciate where I am at. And I'd say that's what the rural program is teaching me. Being in graduate school is teaching me. Seeing you and Jerry at going to the Shark Tanks and seeing other people do it
Right.
versus when we did it. So
Yeah.
I think that we just sit back, breathe, and appreciate other people and what they do.
Right. Right. That's great advice. Um, yeah, very well said.
Yeah.
Veterans, military family members, if you're looking for an incredible opportunity, I would encourage you to check out JDogBrands.com. If you're interested in business ownership, if you're missing what was the best thing about your military service, being the camaraderie of fellow veterans, JDog is a place for you. If you go to JDogBrands.com, you can find out everything about JDog, including how to apply for franchise opportunities in either JDog Junk Removal and Hauling or our new division, Carpet Cleaning and Floor Care. And if you're looking to just be employed by a JDog, we have over 300 locations, close to 115 franchise owners, 90% veteran owned. You can go to the career page and fill out the form and see where we're hiring all across the country. And we connect you with your local JDog in your territory. So check us out, jdogbrands.com. So before you go, where can people, find and connect with you, and I guess where could they also find out more about, the Veteran Affairs Department and what you're doing up there?
Well, I think that if everybody, especially Pennsylvanians, have served, need to go to PA Vet Connect, the
Okay.
PA Vet Connect website, which can be found at the dmva.gov. I think it's ba.gov.org, but DMVA PA. Put that in Google. Go to that site, and all the services that you need in the state there. And then, like for what we do, the legislation, uh, I'm starting to see a lot more older veterans that have time to come research the legislation. They'll start emailing me like, "Hey, are you doing that?" So that becomes a very important piece of our lives as we get older. But I would say the VA Vet Connect, DMVA.org, and that's where you can find all that stuff. But I want to thank you for giving me a time to share, time with you again, and seeing you and watching. I like to say it's been a pleasure to watch you guys grow.
Oh, thank you.
It's incredible. I remember being next to your husband in a contest, and next thing you know, he's got franchises. Next thing you know, I'm watching on the news. He's on the news. I'm saying I'm watching you everywhere, and then and then I see. I think the last time I was in there, your office, Ralph Galati is in your office. I'm like, holy mackerel!
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah, we love what we do every day, and we are blessed. JDog is blessed. We have grown, and we're doing a lot helping our veterans, realize their next step in their life, and in their journey. So proud to say that we have two divisions now: junk removal and hauling, carpet cleaning and floor care, and they're hiring their brothers and sisters. So, we have a lot of veterans that are in this space and enjoying business ownership and helping out their fellow brothers and sisters, giving them
I
jobs.
can
And yeah, we
I
love
could
it. It's
tell you,
great.
you guys are everywhere. I drove. I was in. I had to drive through Cumberland County. I'm in Perry County right now,
Yeah.
and it drove like 2 signs on the side of the road that said
Yeah.
J-Dog.
Yeah, we're up there. Totally.
Mhm.
Harrisburg, and yeah, all up in your area. Yeah, you have
Oh,
to
yeah.
go you have to go far, far, far away in order to get a JDog in the state of Pennsylvania. So, this is kind of where JDog was born, Berwyn, Pennsylvania. So,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
but,
And that's home, that's out there. And
yeah.
you guys are doing good things. That's what I'm saying. It's a it's I think it's weird to be interviewed by you, knowing in the journey that you've taken. going and seeing you grow and seeing it just get bigger and bigger, and from the Philadelphia area, and veteran roots, and it's just amazing. It's just
Well,
amazing.
I love hearing from, veterans like yourself who, have had amazing careers in the military and done a whole lot. And Tactical Treasures is all about this incredible platform for our, active military veterans and male spouses and family members, just to share about what their service was like. And my hope with this Tactical Treasures podcast that we attract veterans and male spouses who can be inspired and motivated from hearing from their fellow veterans and fellow male spouses. So yeah, this has been an exciting little spin-off from our Operation Hidden Treasure show. It's been
It's
great.
awesome. You need to have like a panel of people, probably some people that you've already interviewed, and then put you and Jerry on the other side of the microphone, and then like they ask you the questions on what are your tactical treasures.
You know
You know,
what? I have to tell you that I just one of my past interviews was Megan Ogilvy. She is the CEO of Dog Tag Bakery, and she is a military brat. Okay, so her father, 20 plus years a Marine. Her sister served in the Marine Corps, and she was totally ingrained with that Marine military value, core value. I mean, she used to tell me that, they were taught for children, no matter where they went, whether it was school or soccer practice or whatever, when you leave the house, remember who you are, what you're representing. You're representing your father and myself, and the Marine Corps. So, and and I loved her story. It was really neat. She's a neat lady. And when we came to the Tactical Treasures part, she turned the tables on me. And she said, I want to know, what is your tactical treasure? So I had to share
yeah,
before she shared. So, if you have, a little bit of time, you might check out that podcast. But she totally
I
turned the
definitely
tables on
will.
me. I was a little unprepared, but yeah, I had so many tactical treasures, but I think I picked two, but it was
Yeah,
great.
like because from my point of view, watching you go from "Hey, this is a great idea, and this is what we're doing around the block," to and exploding everywhere where I can say "J-Dog" and people are like, "Oh, yeah." It's almost like everybody knows, and then I say, "Well, I know the people that started it." And they're looking at me like I'm a liar because it's so big. You know what I mean? Like, wow, it's just amazing to see. And I think that when you just said that about Megan, and I think that it sounds like you're mentioning that because that's probably some of the pride and some of the values that you guys are exercising on a daily basis, and you get to share that with all these other veterans
Yeah.
that you're helping them and they're helping you, you know?
Yeah. We're all helping each other. It's all
Yeah,
connected. It's all connected.
yeah, it's awesome.
Well, okay. So yeah, PA Vet Connect. Definitely. And are you on LinkedIn if people want to connect with you?
Oh, yeah, I'm on LinkedIn,
Okay.
soon to be hopefully Dr. Michael Woody, but Michael Woody MBA, on LinkedIn, Michael
Okay,
Woody
great.
MBA,
Well, I can't wait to
and
call you doctor. Good for you.
I'm
Good
gonna wear
luck.
a
And,
doctor suit.
Michael, thank you so much for joining us today. It was great to talk to you.
Thank you, Tracy, I appreciate it.
Okay. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, alright, take
Bye
care.
bye. Hello, listeners and viewers. Thank you so much for joining us for this exciting episode of Tactical Treasures powered by JDog Brands. We have just had an awesome time speaking with Mike Woody, who is a Philadelphia native and served in the U.S. Army as an Airborne Ranger for more than 20 years. He is now currently working as an executive policy specialist at the PA Department of Military and Veteran Affairs. And he has been sharing great stuff about what they're doing up there, helping our veterans get all the resources that they're entitled to in the state of Pennsylvania. So if you're a veteran and you're trying to connect with those resources, I would encourage you to check out PA Vet Connect. And you can find that website by going to dmva.pa.gov/veterans, and you will find a link there to the PA Vet Connect. And you can find all information about employment, financial assistance, mental wellness, every resource that the veterans need. So check it out, and thank you for joining us for our podcast today. And we'll see you soon or hear you soon on another podcast. Thanks. Bye-bye.